Trinidad and Tobago Public Service Vehicle, Hired, Driver's Examination Guide, Part 2 of 2. Question 32. If convicted of drug-related or drunk driving offenses, you may face a fine of $240, up to 6 months imprisonment, or both. On a first offense, your driver's license will be suspended for A. 3 months, B. 1 month, C. 12 months, D. 6 months. Answer: C. 12 months. Question 33. After a change of vehicle ownership, both the previous and new owner must notify the licensing authority within A. 14 days, B. 1 month, C. 7 days, D. any time before the next license renewal. Answer: C. 7 days. Question 34. If you are involved in an accident where someone is injured, you must report it A. immediately to a uniformed police officer or the nearest police station, B. within 48 hours, C. only to your insurance company within 5 days, D. to the Ministry of Transport. Answer: A. immediately to a uniformed police officer or the nearest police station. Question 35. If a driver refuses to provide their name and address to a police officer after committing an offense, the officer A. must get approval from a senior officer before making an arrest, B. must obtain a warrant before arresting the driver, C. cannot arrest the driver, D. can arrest the driver without a warrant. Answer: D. can arrest the driver without a warrant. Question 36. If a person is disqualified from holding or obtaining a driver's permit but still applies for or obtains one, they are liable to A. a fine of $240, B. a fine of $2,000 or 6 months imprisonment, C. 6 months imprisonment, D. only one penalty, either a fine or imprisonment, but not both. Answer: B. a fine of $2,000 or 6 months imprisonment. Question 37. What penalty can a driver face if convicted of driving while disqualified? A. a fine of $240, B. a fine of $500, C. a fine of $1,000 or 1 year imprisonment, D. a fine of $480 or 6 months imprisonment. Answer: C. a fine of $1,000 or 1 year imprisonment. Question 38. What documents may a police officer request from a taxi driver on the roadway? A. a valid driver's permit, B. proof of vehicle insurance, C. taxi driver's badge and license, D. any or all of the above. Answer: D. any or all of the above. Question 39. What penalties can the court impose on a driver convicted of exceeding the speed limit of 30 or 50 miles per hour? A. suspension of their driver's license for 6 months, B. a fine of $500 and possible disqualification from holding or obtaining a driver's permit at the court's discretion, C. disqualification from driving for 30 days, D. impoundment of the vehicle for 6 months. Answer: B. a fine of $500 and possible disqualification from holding or obtaining a driver's permit at the court's discretion. Question 40. The Commissioner of Transport may suspend a driver's license if they accumulate a minimum of how many penalty points within a year? A. 10 points, B. 30 points, C. 15 points, D. 20 points. Answer: A. 10 points. Question 41. Under which circumstance is it unlawful to refuse a passenger hiring your taxi? A. if the round-trip journey exceeds 20 miles, B. if the number of passengers exceeds the vehicle's licensed capacity, C. If the taxi is parked at a designated public taxi stand. D. If the passenger has excess luggage. Answer. C. If the taxi is parked at a designated public taxi stand. Question 42. Where must the official taxi fare tariff be displayed? A. Anywhere inside the taxi. B. On the left front door. C. On the right front door. D. Inside, on the back of the front seat. Answer. D. Inside, on the back of the front seat. Question 43. Where is a taxi driver prohibited from placing advertisements? A. On the doors of the taxi. B. On any side window of the taxi. C. On the trunk of the taxi. D. On the bumpers of the taxi. Answer. B. On any side window of the taxi. Question 44. When does a driving permit expire? A. On the anniversary of its original issue date. B. On December 31st of each year. C. On the date it was last renewed. D. When it is suspended. Answer. A. On the anniversary of its original issue date. Question 45. What is the correct way to park in a taxi stand? A. 15 feet from the curb, maintaining 3 to 4 feet between taxis, and at least 1 foot apart when parked alongside each other, and not less than 3 feet between the lines. B. In any manner you prefer. C. As long as the taxi is within the designated lines. D. 4 feet apart to prevent other car doors from hitting your taxi when opened. Answer. A. 15 feet from the curb, maintaining 3 to 4 feet between taxis, and at least 1 foot apart when parked alongside each other, and not less than 3 feet between the lines. Question 46. If a taxi owner or driver is convicted of a criminal offense involving the use of the taxi, who has the authority to cancel the taxi license? A. The court. B. The police. C. The transport board. D. The commissioner of transport. Answer. D. The commissioner of transport. Question 47. When taxis are waiting for hire at a taxi stand, how should they leave to answer a call? A. Based on their position in the queue, following the order of priority. B. At any time, regardless of position. C. Whenever the driver chooses. D. As soon as a passenger is spotted. Answer. A. Based on their position in the queue, following the order of priority. Question 48. When is a taxi driver's license considered invalid? A. If the driver does not hold a valid driving permit. B. If the license is lost. C. If the license is defaced or damaged. D. If the license is destroyed by fire. Answer. A. If the driver does not hold a valid driving permit. Question 49. If a taxi license holder is no longer deemed a fit and proper person or obtained the license through false representation, who has the authority to cancel the license? A. Commissioner of Police. B. Commissioner of Transport. C. Minister of Transport. D. The court. Answer. B. Commissioner of Transport. Question 50. Under what circumstances is it legal to use a rented car as a taxi? A. During peak hours. B. In case of an emergency. C. Never. D. During a bus or taxi strike to assist the public. Answer. C. Never. Question 51. Which of the following is a legal requirement? A. Washing or repairing vehicles on the streets of Port of Spain. B. Touting for passengers. C. Allowing unauthorized persons to sit in a taxi while plying for hire at a taxi stand. D. Carrying at least one properly inflated spare tire mounted on a spare wheel while driving. Answer. D. Carrying at least one properly inflated spare tire mounted on a spare wheel while driving. Question 52. Which of the following is not legally required on a taxi? A. Safety windshield. B. Windshield wipers. C. Rearview mirror. D. Noisy muffler. Answer: D. Noisy muffler. Question 53. What is a legal requirement for left-hand drive vehicles? A. A visible sign on the rear of the vehicle displaying left-hand drive in letters at least 2 inches high. B. When turning right, extending the left arm and rotating it in a clockwise direction. C. When turning left, extending the left arm horizontally with the palm facing forward. D. All of the above. Answer: D. All of the above. Question 54. What is the minimum distance that unauthorized letters or figures can be affixed near the identification or number plate of a vehicle? A. Not within 18 inches. B. 1 foot. C. 6 inches. D. Not less than 24 inches. Answer: A. Not within 18 inches. Question 55. How is a maxi taxi legally defined? A. A large taxi. B. A small bus. C. A public service motor vehicle with seating for no fewer than 9 and no more than 12 passengers. D. A taxi with an 8-inch band painted around it. Answer: C. A public service motor vehicle with seating for no fewer than 9 and no more than 12 passengers. Question 56. It is illegal for a vehicle to be painted or decorated in a way that A. Matches your personal preference. B. Resembles the color scheme of a maxi taxi and could cause confusion. C. Enhances its appearance. D. Is primarily white. Answer: B. Resembles the color scheme of a maxi taxi and could cause confusion. Question 57. Which of the following is the correct hand signal for making a left turn? A. Extending the arm straight out of the window, palm facing forward, and rotating it in an anti-clockwise direction. B. Extending the arm straight out and rotating it in a clockwise direction. C. Extending the arm out and pointing left. D. Extending the arm straight out of the window. Answer: A. Extending the arm straight out of the window, palm facing forward, and rotating it in an anti-clockwise direction. Question 58. When is it legal for the holder of a Class 3 driving permit to drive a taxi or H-car? A. In an emergency. B. When driving without passengers as the vehicle owner. C. When transporting family members. D. Only if they hold a valid taxi driver's license and badge. Answer: D. Only if they hold a valid taxi driver's license and badge. Question 59. Which of the following is the correct hand signal for slowing down or stopping? A. Extending the arm straight out of the window, palm facing downward, and moving it up and down below shoulder level. B. Extending the arm outward with the palm facing forward and upward. C. Making a circular motion with the hand. D. Extending the arm out of the window with the palm facing forward. Answer: A. Extending the arm straight out of the window, palm facing downward, and moving it up and down below shoulder level. Question 60. Which hand signal correctly indicates a right turn? A. Extending the arm straight out of the window with the palm facing forward. B. Extending the arm outward and pointing upward. C. Extending the arm outward and pointing downward. D. Pointing a finger to the right. Answer: A. Extending the arm straight out of the window with the palm facing forward. Question 61. On which days is a maxi taxi legally required to operate on its designated route? A. Any day of the week. B. Monday to Friday only. C. Any day except Saturdays, Sundays, and public holidays. D. There are no restrictions. Answer: C. Any day except Saturdays, Sundays, and public holidays. Question 62. How often must a public service vehicle undergo a roadworthiness inspection by the licensing authority? A. Every 6 months. B. After 2 years. C. Once per year. D. Only at the time of registration. Answer: C. Once per year. That's the end of this review of the hired motor vehicle multiple choice questions. Keep going. Click on the video links on the sides and continue preparing for your Trinidad and Tobago public service vehicle or hired driver's examination. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and comment. And of course, hit the notification bell and subscribe for more driving test guides.